What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal. I am in the building. Just want to make sure my sound is working clearly. Looks like the sound is working just fine. Okay, good. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal in the building. Today is... What is the date today? You know, sometimes when you're sitting at home, you don't know sure what time of the week it is. It is August 22nd, 2017. So, damn, almost a couple more months until the end of the year. Shout out to everybody slowly coming into the chat room. This is crazy, man. This year has just really just flew by. I mean, this whole year has just been like, you know, crazy, man. Fast. Now we're already talking about September. Wow. Crazy, man. Shout out to the people slowly coming in the chat room and all the people who are watching this in the future. I appreciate you for watching. Awesome day on the markets today. It's always great to see a stock that we talk about run and do exactly what we wanted it to do. Let's go ahead and get the show started with. Yes, indeed. What's going on? Roderick Gray, Michael B., Jeff Thayer, Robert Turman, Donzel Essex. Appreciate you guys in the chat room. And everybody else who join us in a bit. Let's go ahead and get the show started with. And again, man, it's always good to see a stock that we talk about run, because you just, you know, one of the things I started this show was because I kept missing things, right? I when you're trading by yourself and you're kind of doing your own thing, there are, you know, over 10,000 stocks that trade on the OTC, another, I want to say 7,500 that trade on the NASDAQ, right? And then I think I want to say 4,000 or 5,000 on the Dow. You know, you don't realize that there are many shares out there, but there are a ton of stocks that barely even move. You know what I mean? You'd be surprised how many stocks don't even trade, you know, every day. Every day. So it's always good to have so many people talking about, you know, different issues, because you get to be able to see, you know, what people are talking about and what you've missed out on. So RTNB, I don't remember who exactly brought it up, but again, RTNB was another call that we saw in our chat room here on the show. We talked about it. We all said we loved the chart yesterday. Shout out to everybody who was in the show yesterday. We all, you know, were unanimous about the fact that we loved that RTNB chart. I felt like with today's action, I mean, it was as if the whole world was listening to us. You know, it was as if the whole world was listening to us. Let me play that again. You know, it was, I mean, you really don't get opportunities to trade charts like this. You know, every so often we will get a chart like this here on the show. I would say like we get at least once a week. At least once a week we get a chart like this where, you know, you're just blessed, man. You just feel blessed being able to catch some things like this. It was a beautiful chart that I was able to play today. Got in exactly where that green line is on the pullback. It was hanging right on top of the moving average. That's why I love my crossover moving averages on the 5-minute charts. I know some of you guys use the 1 minute. The 1 minute is just chaos for me. It's just way too fast, because I'm not even really good at going long. But, you know, using my moving averages, the 15 and 30, which is my favorite. Yes, I'm late on a lot of things, but I like being late because I like being accurate. You know, being late means that you missed, you know, the big meat of the move, but at least you get the chance to improve your accuracy. And I was able to jump on this. Unfortunately, I got caught in that dump at the top, but I was still able to sell for a nice gain. Nice play on RTNB. I was under the impression that this was probably going to get halted. And sure enough, I mean, you know, we all saw what happened. We all saw what happened. And RTNB, you know, These are things that you gotta be very careful, because when they run this aggressively, you almost gotta expect that to show up. You know, you almost gotta expect that, especially after what happened last week to what was that, DGLT or something like that. I know we talked about it yesterday. You know, you kind of expect that to run and to eventually get halted eventually, because, you know, it was just too crazy. It was just way too crazy. What are my thoughts on gold and oil? I think it's a wrap for oil. I don't see oil coming back for a long time. I don't see oil coming back for a long time, if not ever. I think we might be with the Saudi Aramco going public. That's clearly a sign that the Saudis have looked into the future, and what they're seeing in oil isn't very good. If you guys haven't been following basically the very reason America has been politically involved in Saudi Arabia, their oil interest, Aramco, which I believe is short for like American Oil. I don't know. Go ahead. You can look that up. But anyway, it was a partnership between the government of Saudi Arabia as well as Standard Oil. And then once Standard Oil got broken up, they somehow were able to maintain ownership of Aramco. And now they're looking to go public. They need cash. So that in itself right there tells me that the future of oil is not so bright. Is not so bright. What's going on, Donald Hawkins? Shout out to all my truckers out there. Beautiful Coralie. Hey. Fortis Rancanis. What's going on, bro? Mr. JRH. Let's take a look at some of the tickers you guys are pulling up. As we talk about gold, I still like gold. I think today's bounce, you know, in the Qs, because that was really what was leading the charge downward. We had the gap up opening today. The options went crazy. And, you know, I actually had to sell for like a $430 loss on my trade. And I'm still in it. I sold 5 contracts. I still got another 5 just to see. I'm at the 144 put. So it's getting close to me, man. It's getting close to me. It's pissing me off. So, but I just to be careful, I let 5 go, just in case this thing is really going to come and put me in a situation where I'm all of a sudden above 144, and I'm you know, this would be horrible. But it is what it is. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. That's the Qs. But you know, this market looks like it was going down. All of a sudden now, you know, they're fighting. They're really, really fighting. You know, and I've asked the question so many times, what is this market running on right now? Everybody's saying the same thing. Earnings. We had earnings. Now what? What justifies another 10% from here on out? You know? Are we going to go Amazon up another 10%? What justifies that move? GLUU has been brought up in the chat room. Let's take a look at it. We saw GLUU up yesterday, and today has a bigger green day, up for almost 5% today, 343 on GLUU. NASDAQ play, former OTC stock too. And this one's staying hot up there on the RSI. It's been up there for almost a week and a half now. Actually, go 2 weeks. Let's go 2 weeks above that red line there. A couple of days where it, you know, took a little bit of a breather, but, you know, you got people buying this thing up. Solid volume, too. I mean, it's not a sleeper. 4 million shares traded today. So people are buying this. People are buying this. What's the move here? Looks like it's been on fire since March. Crossed over my moving averages, again, the 15 and 30 EMA. Not the earliest signal, but a reliable one at least. Nice move on that. I think this is Ken on the line. 646, what's up?
Who's Ken? How are you?
Hey, what's going on with you, Ken?
So last night you asked me a specific question. You said AZFL. You think it'll continue up today? And I said yes, and I was right.
Yeah, you were spot on the money. Nice day today. I thought, I hate it when they go that high and then they come back. But I mean, hey, that's OTCs for you.
I know.
But still, solid day today. 12% gain in the stock.
And notice that 0022 was the previous high in April. It hit 0021 and came back and closed to 001. You talk about charts and how they are important.
Yeah, very nice on that play today. I mean, overall, AZFL, solid turnaround. I mean, this is interesting. When you see a stock run and then goes unwanted, where the selling dries up, and all of a sudden now buyers fully in control here.
Yes, pretty big bids throughout the day, but we'll see. I don't know regarding tomorrow. We hit a low of 0013 early in the day today, and then it was up from there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. I think you're going to have a sell-off, but this could be the beginning of a long run. Maybe, who knows? 0050 in the works. Who knows? But yeah, I think you'll have a pullback this week. But let's see if people come in and buy those lows.
Right. We'll see. We'll see. Congratulations. Remember last night you mentioned the other one, AMFE, and you said it would sell off today, and you were right.
Yeah. AMFE.
On the news.
Yeah, AMFE. I thought that was kind of tired looking at the chart, and you saw a little bit of hesitation developing, especially from the end of last week. And I think you got some people who are a little bit tired. That's all. Now it's about what's the buying momentum. What's the catalyst from here, and I think people are second guessing themselves on it, and I think you'll probably go lower again tomorrow as well.
Okay, one more. A real stock, AVEO, that biotech one that's waiting on the EU approval on their cancer drug. Yeah, take a look at that chart.
This one's setting up real nice, and I'm starting to think that somebody knows something, because I saw a couple of the bids on that today, and they were pretty big, man. There were a couple 100K bids on that, and as if somebody knows something here. I mean, 9 million share traded today in that stock. The average not too long ago was barely over 300,000. So the word is out on AVEO, and I think something's up and could be big.
Good, great. Was going to say to you, last night you were talking about this market, and or a couple days ago, whether we're going to have it's a buying opportunity, and a month from now we're going to be looking back. Yeah. I keep just look at the. Remember I mentioned to you about the industrial metals, the copper stocks like FCX, and they were showing signs of strength a couple days ago. And interesting how we popped in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. What's that ticker one more time?
Sure. If you look at Frank Charlie X-ray FCX, that's Freeport.
Hold on. I'm hearing you say FS. It sounds like you're saying sex, but what?
Yeah, it's funny. No, that's not one of mine. FCX, Frank Charlie X-ray.
Okay, FCX. Oh, okay, Freeport McMoran. Okay, integrated mining, 15. Okay, yeah, nice little pop on that a couple of days ago. Had a solid end of July there too. Look at that. Yeah, so interesting play today, because the commodities. There's a nice little commodities play, FCX, and solid run. Even though we had the little gap up today in the technology, it's interesting to see the commodities still run too. Gap up opening. Yeah, last 2 days in a row, by the way, in FCX. Nice move there.
Right. Also, Vail, Victor, Apple, Larry, Ernie's another copper play. Look at that chart.
Okay. Well, give me that ticker one more time.
Sure. It's Victor, Apple, Larry, Ernie.
Vail. Okay.
Vail.
All right. Okay, nice. Solid $10 stock. Man, look at that. Had a solid turn around situation back in June. Missed this one. Nice play there from the low 8s. Gained almost up $1.80 a share in just over 35 days. Would have been a nice return for somebody there. Now moving out of penny stock territory. Nice.
It's interesting. This market's like it just keeps rolling one sector to another sector to another. The money just rolls back and forth, and it's interesting. Today, sorry.
I mean, they talk about the efficient market hypothesis, and that we can't really guess where this thing is going to go, and it is what it is. But I mean, we're watching it here day by day. But even watching it, you know, like a hawk, like we do, it's hard to tell where this is going to go. It really is.
It is. It is. You just got to keep riding it until it stops.
There it is. Thank you so much,
What
Ken.
are you going to do? Enjoy.
Appreciate it. Ken from New York, as always, with great tickers, great perspective. I like both of his calls there. That FCX and that Vail. The Freeport McMoran I'm familiar with. I'm not too familiar with Vail. But that FCX, you know, that was another company that, you know, used to fly real high way back when I was in school. I remember this used to be a multi-billion-dollar. Yeah, if you go back way back far enough. Let me go look at a 5-year. Yeah, this used to trade at a lot higher prices. For those of you guys who remember in school, if you had like economics courses or whatever, you may have had like a stock market contest and shit like that. And, you know, stocks like this were always one of those things you picked because you really didn't know how to really trade. So you just kind of went and seen any kind of blue chip stock that you're familiar with, because that's kind of how they teach people how to invest. Hey, you shop at Walmart? Go buy a Walmart. Go buy Walmart stock. You know, you got a Verizon phone? Go buy Verizon stock. Yes, indeed. Shout out to all my international listeners. Appreciate you for watching and Bullard. Oh, yeah. Okay. Were you the guy that emailed me on that soup queue? What's going on, Bad Scientist? Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't say RTNB was my call. I just said I love the chart. And it just go figure that, you know, when we go through the stocks every day, I write down, you know, things that look very nice to me to trade the next day, or, you know, at least things to keep an eye on. And go, sure enough, I mean, out of the gate, I mean, the volume was incredible. So I, you know, waited for a pullback and jumped on it. Soup Q, another Q stock. The stock was up almost over 1,200%. I told you guys how these Qs can just run insane. Soup Q, by the way, this is based on the Soup Man. And if you guys don't remember, the Soup Man was once it was actually an OTC stock based off that Seinfeld character. Some of you guys may remember, you know, he was the no soup for you guy. That's a hilarious episode on Seinfeld. He has a publicly traded company called Soup Man where he sold his soup. It was popular for some time, obviously, as the show disappeared. I mean, and I think he actually went public on OTCs well after the show. But, you know, obviously, you know, if you weren't really looking for it, you know, the company didn't do well. So that's where we find themselves now, you know, in bankruptcy and, you know, running over 1,000% with today's move. Why? Who knows? Who cares? This is, you know, at the end of the day, a bankruptcy stock. So be very, very careful here because the people on the inside are up big and they're going to be looking to sell to you know, the suckers in the morning. All right. Yeah, shout out to whoever who had brought up that RTNB. I have no idea. Peter Lynch went up on Wall Street. Yeah, that's one of them old classics that I read a long time ago. Long time ago, when I thought I knew something about the stock market. Went up on Wall Street. There was also another one. Gosh, I forgot that guy in his system. Peter O'Neill. I forgot his system. I think it's called like How to Trade Stocks. I think that's literally what it's called. How to Trade Stocks. Can Slim. Yeah, it was like his Can Slim theory. And it's all a bunch of like, you know, blue chip type plays. You know. Oh, yeah. Back during the day when, you know, when a stock went up 30 cents, you were so happy because you thought that made, you know, could make you rich. You know, and you could only afford 2 or 3 shares of it because you didn't know what you were doing. What's going on, Ronald Anderson? Let's go and look at what else was hot on the day today. And by the way, give me your tickers. Let's take a look at what you guys were looking at today while I pull up my equity feed here. Let me know what you guys were looking at. All right. The soup Nazi. Yeah, there. Yeah, that was him. What's going on, Stock God? Yeah, let's look at that. DIGAF. You know, we laughed at that play yesterday, but you know, it still continues to go up. We laughed at that play yesterday. Here's the intraday chart. It looks so ugly, but you know, the volume, you know, drying up. You know, it's kind of drying up here. DIGAF, but still, like as I said, another green day for the stock. But it looks like you're drying up with today's hanging man, which could be a reversal here. The doji, this long-legged doji was you know, supposed to be that change direction. But you got the hanging man. This is another confirmation of a possible change in direction. So that should be coming down tomorrow. I believe you'll have a red day in the stock tomorrow, especially if you continue this downward slide in volume. It's almost surely that you're probably going to have a red day, as a large shareholder may want to liquidate his or her shares as to not get stuck. All right. REMF. Oh, REMF. Hold on. What is that? REEMF. I haven't seen this ticker before. What is this called? Rare Element Resources. All right. Not familiar with this. Solid 2-day play. Who brought this up? Bats? Okay. How do I know, Bats, you would bring this up? As soon as I saw that chart pull up, I said, okay, this is Bats and it's Ichimuchu Cloud. And as long as it's working for you, brother, that's all I care about. Nice move today. Confirmation, second-day confirmation of bullish momentum. You're up there now. Look at that. 2 days from basically 35 to 71 now on the RSI. Slightly lower volume on the second day, but still nice move on the chart. Smaller candlestick opposed to yesterday as well. All right. So be careful on that one tomorrow. Careful on that one tomorrow. Yeah, I'll definitely be very careful on that one. All right, let's see what's other games you guys are looking at. RMRK, Rimrock Gold. All right, up 500%. Yeah, 0003 stock. Over 1 billion shares traded. Here's another one that's got an insane amount of float. You know, you got to be careful on these ones, man. We talked about how some of these companies with this, you know, crazy float, you know, the thing about these kind of plays that you need a very similar second day in order to keep the momentum going. I mean, you short by anything, this thing's coming down fast tomorrow. You had a 500% day. Like that Soup King, that Soup Man one. I think that Soup Man one, again, if you don't have another solid day of volume, relatively close to what, you know, today's one, I think you're going to look at a red day too. Yeah. And that Soup Man one too, by the way, that guy was barely making any money. If you look at the books on that, I think that company was making like $20,000 a year or something. It was something pathetic like that. It's kind of indicative, you know, of how, you know, if you do own a publicly traded OTC company, you can literally become a millionaire overnight, you know, if you contact the right people. All right, let's look at what was hot today. We talked about RTNB. Oh, and by the way, I'm still waiting for that turnaround situation in BW. You know, we're still waiting. You know, we talked about yesterday possibly being the beginning. Well, we didn't get the confirmation we're looking for today. Still heavily oversold. So all you RTNB people making your profit over there, come on back over to BW. Let's get this out of the 180s. Let's get back this up to 250 or higher, or at least where my green line is at 294. Why not? If we can get 120% like we did today, BW can go higher too. Let's make it happen. We'll see. WAC is another stock oversold. New York Stock Exchange play. So all you Robinhood people could have taken advantage of this too. This is another stock that, again, all technicals here. It's basically all technicals. The stock was under delist risk. Been under $1 for, How long now? Just since about May, so a lot of delist risk here. So yeah, it's been a couple months now since they've got to put out a plan to get back over $1, and today was definitely a good day to help that situation. Up 76% on basically, an oversold situation. Again, here was another situation where you got the doji. All right, almost like a hammer. I see a slight wick above that, but beautiful hammer pattern, almost a doji. Yeah, I won't call it a doji, but a hammer with a short wick. Bullish confirmation followed through with today's move up 76%. And look at that volume come out of there, because why? Everybody sees the technicals. Everybody sees the technicals too. You're not the only one. That's why the goal is always to kind of get in a little bit early. And, these were the entry signals. These were the entry signals. But again, as we just saw on BW, you can get fooled by that too and find yourself, sitting in a hole if you're not careful. This is basically an example of when it goes right. When it goes right. Doji, hammer, confirmation of the bullish momentum. Beautiful, beautiful play from bottom of the RSI to the middle of the chart. I mean, you really can't get better of a chart when you're looking at, oversold to, reaction out of that oversold level. Beautiful. EVLV. Don't know too much about it, man. I'm not feeling that volume. Only 150,000 shares traded every day. Man, I don't know if you've ever been in a stock that's, traded that few of shares, man. It's like watching paint dry. Watching level 2 on something like that. I just leave it alone, bro. Unless you know some kind of news that could be turning this around anytime soon, I just leave that alone. Let us revolt. What's going on with you? I think you changed your name. You used to go by something else because that profile pic looks familiar. BIOA. Let's take a look at BIOA. All right, here we go. Here's another one. Looks like it recently shitted on itself, as I like to say. Yeah, man. NYSE stock. Those candlesticks are getting kind of thin, so that's a good sign, man. It's finding some support there when those candlesticks get real thin like that and flat, where you got that battle going on between buyers and sellers, and pretty decent volume there. I mean, average is 1.2 today, only 870,000. All right, so when you got that battling going on, not too bad. I think in the next couple of days, this might be one we'll probably see on the gain chart here with possibly a 10, 15, 20% gain coming out of that BIOA. But as we just said on BW, they could very well continue to sell off. We don't know how many sellers are in there. We don't know what, who's in there, how many shares. Are they still looking to sell or not? Time will tell. Closet Loader said you were looking at BW. Yeah, looking at BW. This is these are good stocks to play. I mean, these stocks that are oversold, on short term, bearish fundamentals or just pure technicals, or maybe bad earnings, as this looks like was the situation. Eventually, you're going to get an opportunity to play it, back to a reasonable level. People overreact and sell shares. Institutions overreact and sell shares. And there's an opportunity for you to benefit off of. If you guys remember, if we want to go up in price a little bit, when Amazon bought, what was that? When Amazon bought Whole Foods, everybody wanted to sell what? I think it was Kroger's. Was it Kroger? Yeah, everybody wanted to sell Kroger. Look at that. Kroger fell off their ass. Kroger fell off their ass. This is the exact day that Amazon bought. Yeah, is it? Yeah. I think you go back to when Amazon bought Whole Foods. When Amazon bought Whole Foods. And I think earnings wasn't that great either. No, okay, earnings was actually beat earnings. What date was that? Let me see here. Let me pull up, make sure I'm giving the right information. Amazon buys Whole Foods. What day was that? Somebody sold off big time on that. June 16th. What day was this? Yep, there it is. June 16th. Exactly right. Exactly right. Actually beat earnings, and then it still shitted on itself. But look at that turnaround situation, though. I mean, the stock, the wick goes as far down as $20 a share, and eventually works its way back up to almost $4 a share from that low. So yes, there are, very, very good ways to play these bottom, turd buckets. These bottom bouncers, whatever you want to call them. It's an opportunity to make money. Whether you go for those, 20-cent stocks to, as we just see here on Kroger's, $20 stocks. And by the way, those options went nuts. It doesn't have very liquid options, but they went nuts. They went nuts with anybody who had those, bright enough idea to have those $20 puts, which, who would have guessed? Jeff there says BW has a shareholder alert from some lawyer. Okay. Let's look at Cali again. Cali, that Chinese quote-unquote automaker, it's a stock that has a lot of spikeability to it. All these Chinese stocks, something comes out of China that's hot, and all of a sudden everybody gets really excited about Chinese plays. I still think that, China is the next big thing. I mean, it's already a big thing, but I think they're the next, USA, basically. But it's not there yet. But and Cali's definitely not the representative of that. I mean, only 7,000 shares traded. But it's a stock that, when it's time to run, the volume comes in. It's just being able to identify when people are going to want this stock. And as you can see, nobody really wants it right now. And that's why it's only trading 7,000 shares a day. Yeah, a few months ago. Again, that's just kind of one of those stocks that can move, but, you just never see it. RUBI, company's listed as a computer technology company. Also has something to do with programming. 500,000 shares traded every day. Volume isn't great here. Looks like it got oversold for some time. Looks like you had that move there from 560 to 582, but didn't really do much since. So it's been here before. As you can see, though, it is definitely a stock to play in the lows because it does find its way out of that. It takes some time. This move right here, it's almost a month. Actually, almost a month and a half for it to work its way out of that. Here we have it now sitting at 31. But those candlesticks are showing a lot of hesitation for it to turn around. But, today's still seeing a green candlestick on today's move, although it was down 1%. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one. Typically, when you see a stock that's oversold like that, you want to see pretty good average volume as it is. You know what I'm saying? You want it to already be a stock that people like to buy, because that invites people to play that bounce, because they're confident they'll be able to get their money out. That's why RTNB, did what it did today, almost 2,400% higher on volume. Because people are pretty confident, it trades over 1.2 million on average, that they're going to be able to get their money out. That invites the money to come in. China wants to put in a bid for the Jeep company. Oh, wow. They're already buying assets. I mean, China already owns, what foreign car company do they own? I think it's Volvo, right? Was it Volvo? Or Chrysler? Something like that. They own something already. And a lot of people talk shit about Chinese quality, but they're getting better. The Chinese are getting better when it comes to quality. You know, I think 10 years ago when you said something was from China, it was like, eh. But now, you know, even someone like the knockoff shit, you know, I remember when the iPhone came out. Do you guys remember some of them knockoff iPhones that were coming out? You know, they were horrible. You know, they was just, you know, they were just horrible. They didn't even have the same operating system. They just kind of looked like iPhones. If you guys got to play with them, they were called like C phone and like M phone and all that bullshit. But now, if you look at some of those Chinese Androids, they're like, oh shit. Them Chinese Androids are really no joke. Some of them Chinese Androids are like, oh, okay. Baba had a good day. Yeah, Baba is always going to have, I mean, like I said, this company, I think Baba is going to be like one of the few recession-proof stocks out there if this market does sell off. Please, God, do. 251, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going on, sir? It's Anthony.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Not much, man. That RTNB, I was listening to when the show came on.
Yeah.
But what happened to the stock? It got halted for about an hour, 2 hours.
Well, man, it was just hot, man. It was just hot. I mean, that's basically what happened. You know, and it was so funny because we were talking about it in the Discord room as the stock was just going higher and higher. And that's when I pretty much came with the conclusion. I'm dumping all my shares on that one. But that's exactly basically what happened, man. And, you know, everybody started buying and buying and buying. And, you know, the SEC is going to step in and say, okay, hey, what's going on here? You know?
Yeah. I thought it probably had another run tomorrow. I mean, but I got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But NAK, it's up about, what, 10%?
NAK, let's take a look at it. I haven't looked at NAK in a while.
Yeah, because y'all don't believe in it.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not saying I'd rather, you know, when it comes to gold plays, I'd rather buy like AUY and some of those other ones. But I mean, NAK is doing its thing. I mean, a nice day-to-day 10%. I just I think it's just so unpredictable, man. I just wish you would just, you know, stick to the whatever the hell you want to do. You want to keep going up, you know?
Yeah, either need to keep going up or need to go down.
Yeah, I mean, that's just you know, it's a mess looking at this NAK chart because you don't know what the hell it wants to do. You know, it's just So I just rather play something else.
Because what got me, it's been going sideways for like the last about three weeks, almost a month now.
Yeah.
And it's stuck right around that from that $1.30 something to that $1.40 something.
Yeah, you're basically funneling now, and that's just basically what it is. I mean, it's just and that makes it very boring, and it's frustrating for a lot of people. But you know, we'll see what it's doing now. You got a gap up opening today, so we'll see what you know what the market does with it. But and at the end of the day, it's NAK, so we'll see.
Yeah, because like I was telling you last time I called, I got shares in Robinhood too. So what I'm one in Robinhood, the other in TD Mirror. So what I'm doing is, if it go down, I just add to my Robinhood account.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, if it go down, I'm hoping to go down to $1.20 again, or $1.99. I mean, 99 cents. Yeah.
No, it could very well do that. I mean, you know, it has the opportunity to. You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, Anthony.
All right.
Yes, indeed. All right. Not bad. As I told you guys yesterday, the biggest gainer sometimes ends up becoming one of the biggest losers, and we saw that exactly happen in ARCI. And, you know, beautiful looking chart. I mean, you know, as a shorter, you just try to make your money wherever you can. And sure enough, Interactive Brokers had a few and grabbed onto that and definitely played it hard here on the paper trade as well. But solid move here on the RCI. This is probably going to come down. But, still relatively hot based on that huge move that it made after it beat earnings yesterday. But big time, I wouldn't call it a big time sell-off, but it was down 6% today. Hopefully to seeing that continue to go lower, but you might see people play a bounce here, although it's still hot, still really hot on the RSI. All right, but we saw many of the stocks that were up yesterday sell off here on today's market. Okay, I didn't see anything else too surprising on this sell-off here. Let's see here, ROX. That's a stock we've talked about a lot in the past. Here's ROX on the daily, going below 30 on that RSI today. I'm not sure why. Castle Brands, it's got decent volume. 1.9 traded today on its sell-off, but average is about 700,000. Not the most popular stock in the world, but losing that support at 144 that I had marked here. So we're in bearish territory now for ROX. This looks like it's going for the floor. It had been a nice run since March, quietly moving up higher, but the moving averages don't lie. Support and resistance doesn't lie. And, there's your confirmation there, the bullish or bearish rather momentum in ROX. Do I like KERF? Let's take a look at KERF. KERMF. Yeah, Andres, you remember that M phone and all that crap? Kerr Mines. Yeah, here's another one, man, with very low volume. I don't like these too much. These very low volume plays. A little bit too slow for me. Do y'all use two brokers to avoid the PDT rule? Yes, you can use two brokers. Or you can just go to, what's that other broker that is now no PDT? I forgot what they're, not SureTrade, not those offshore ones. Honestly, I think they're all offshore, but U-Stock Trade. There we go. U-Stock Trade is no PDT rule, but it's only NASDAQ and NYSE and no shorting, just going long. Which works for most people. $2 stock at best. Jeff there, what's a $2 stock? That KERF? Yeah, I mean, if it's a legit company and somebody's pushing it, got to get some volume in there. Parker Mills, you said you got a stock for me. Show it, baby. Give me all the tickers you guys think that's going to make some money. We talked about what stock is going to make some money yesterday, and we all, for most of us in here, decided RTNB was going to be that play, and it did it. It did it. Absolutely did it. FUTL is going to be our moneymaker tomorrow. Nice day today. All right, so OTC played 0013. Okay, 168 million. Okay, we'll see. Give this to Bats to take a look at. Bat Scientist, take a look at that FUTL, man. It looked like it ran and sold off, and now you had people jumping on the lows. Kind of looking like AZFL, but a slightly slower version, but very similar chart to AZFL. IMUC. Well, IMUC run. I don't know, man. I think we almost fucking missed it here. What was that? August 11th. Where were you at August 11th? On 25 cents a share on August 11th. Now you're at 37 cents. Damn, man. Hindsight is always 20/20, ain't it? Hindsight is always 20/20. Let me see what sometimes I forget my candlesticks. I'm not sure what candlestick that is. I know it's got a name for it, but I can't. It's not coming up right now. For this candlestick right here. I know this is a spinning top, but what is that? I want to say it's a gravestone doji. I believe it's called a gravestone doji, but I'm not. Somebody's gonna have to remind me of that one. There's the idea that when that the bulls went all in and gave everything they had. Something to that effect. Best broker to short, Interactive Brokers or Speed Trader. But both of those require at least $10,000. Sure Trader is pretty good too, but Sure Trader is offshore. And they don't have everything. I mean, they say they have it, but they don't really have everything. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, it's the gravestone. Yeah, it's the gravestone doji. Well, yeah, it could be an inverted hammer too, though, because the body's a little bit bigger. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get much better at memorizing all of these candlesticks. It's, you know, so it just snaps in your head. It becomes second memory. I'm going for that CMT, that CMT certification. I also started my MBA at, don't laugh when I call this school University of the People. I just don't want to go for student loans again. You know, it's a free university. It's a free online university. All you got to do is pay for the test, for the exams and shit. Do I want to get a degree from a place called University of the People? I mean, not really, but fuck it. It's a degree. They got NYU professors, and, you know, it seems like they got a lot of big corporations behind them. And it's a real novel idea, so I fucks with it. If it's free and I don't have to take out any loans, I'm cool with it. And they got computer science, health sciences, and then what I'm going for is that MBA. So, yeah. Yeah, University of the People. I know you guys would fucking laugh at that shit. But I don't want to take out any more fucking loans, man. I don't want to go through that shit again. Student loans and all that shit. And I definitely don't want to go to any of these like online, you know, private universities. That's just ripping off black and Hispanic people like crazy with these worthless private universities. Life experience degree? I don't know, man. Is it a reputable school? You're going to have to give me the name of the school first. And I'm more than happy to do some research on it for you. All right, so let's go back to these tickers. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's free bachelor's degrees, free associate degrees, free master's degrees. And it's recognized by the Department of Education. So if you can get government jobs with it, if you can get corporate jobs with it, shit, I fucks with it, man. I go to University of the People. Shit. I fucks with it, man. Let's see what else was hot today. All right, I see IMUC. Yeah, we saw IMUC make that 18% move. 10% is actually up after hours right now. Shit. Stock is up after hours, slightly after hours. But again, missing that move from that low. Got the bullish confirmation. You know, you got up there, but the body, it was at 31. You're at up 6 cents a share now, even from August the 14th. So you've been making a nice little move here. Only 43 on the RSI. Solid volume coming in today, but would have definitely wanted to be on these other days last week. Nice move there on IMUC. Again, playing just pure technicals here on that oversold chart. Online schooling is the future. Oh, absolutely. Online schooling is the future, man. Parker Mills, you said I promoted them. Oh, yeah. That was those free degrees. Yeah, freedegrees.com or some shit like that. Something to that effect, man. Honestly, that guy was real funky with his money, so when it came to paying me, so I stopped promoting that shit. So I'm not even going to speak on that one. Let me see here. What else? I'm looking for some good stocks here on FinViz. I'm trying to see if we can pull up some good tickers we might be interested in. But yeah, it is free. Okay, this is not cheap though. $6 play. I know you guys all love the cheapies. 1 million shares traded today. This looks like it might sell off tomorrow. Already high up there. BBX was another stock that doesn't. Yeah, this is probably going to sell off tomorrow. You see, we're right back into the sixes. One stock that's been doing pretty good and surprising a lot of people is Sears. I thought Sears was a wrap, but Sears, fighting for its life. Ugly looking chart, but I mean, you had a very predictable sell-off, and all of a sudden it just started turning around toward the end of June, and now it's just hanging up there. We talked about retail so much, but it's hanging on for its life. ADMP was the stock we talked about that had the EpiPen. You guys remember that? This is the company that had the EpiPen. And, this is basically what happened when they got approved for their replacement. We saw all the, day traders come into the play and had an incredible day that day. And then, of course, as the stock, people lose interest, go into different plays, it started to sell off. But nice move for it to rebound back into the fives today, jumping above the candlesticks, above the moving averages. Now 530 on ADMP. But again, I'm looking for, let me pull up my FinViz, man, because y'all just watching me. Let me pull up some RSI lows. Let me see. Gotta love FinViz. Let me see. Oversold 40. Actually, let's see. Do we have anything below 10? All right, CRME. I'm seeing CRME. Okay. All right. So this is, this is funny because this stock barely gets any volume whatsoever. But watch this bounce like a motherfucker. Y'all remember this one because this is going to be one of those plays that people play. You'll see. Let me see. Let's go to CRME. I think this is familiar. Why is this ticker familiar? Has this ran before? Okay. Yeah, this stock has ran before. I'm thinking, why is this thing familiar? Yeah, it's ran this year. We've talked about this. I would put this on a watch. You might want to look at what the float is on that one. But I would definitely put this on a watch. Ordinary shares Canada. Is it coming on Robinhood? Can you see this on Robinhood? CRME for you people who have Robinhood. Let me know if you can see that ticker. It's not coming up. It's saying Canada next to it. Okay, Andre's saying it's on there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I would put that on a watch. I would definitely put that on a watch. I'll put that on a watch. Yeah. Just on the chart alone. And again, I don't know what the float is or anything like that. And this is not a stock that brings in incredible volume. I'm looking at the Yahoo Finance historical data, and I'm seeing 40,000, 20,000, 19,000. So it doesn't bring in crazy volume, but the last 2 days have been insane selling in the stock. And fine, let it sell off. Let it sell off. Fine, let it sell off. Just be there for the bottom, because when that bottom and those sellers are gone, this is gonna run. This is gonna run. All right, AKG, Bad Scientists, or no, Relative 9696. All right, another beautiful play. I'm watching this one. I already got this one mapped out. Here we go. Here we go. I'm looking for that 127. Can we get it? Can we get the 127? How long is it going to take for me to get 127 from where it is right now? Is it very possible? Nice move there. Just 2 cents today. But 3 days in a row now of the confirmation. And you had it sitting real nicely there at 85 cents. You're up over 20 cents a share. Over 20 cents a share. And just a matter of, 2.5 weeks. That's a solid return, man. I mean, when you're talking about a company going for 80 cents, you drop in, 2,000, 2,500, 3,500, $4,000 if you can. That's good money. That's a good return, man. That's a good return. We talk about, how trading, when it comes to penny stocks, that's why it makes sense, because you can trade at scale. That's how you make money in investing. Buying as many shares as possible for as cheap as possible, so you can be able to make more money on the amount of shares you have. All right. Nice play on AKG. Who brought that up? Nice play there, Relative 9696. AMKR. Not familiar with this one. Semiconductor play, NASDAQ. Not the cheapest in the world, but But it's got solid volume, though. Technology play, so there's the catalyst as well. Obviously, there's some other things going on here. This looks like this is an earnings loser. Although I'm pulling up the earnings, and it looks like it actually beat. So maybe revenues were down. But it actually did beat the quarter, but revenues may have missed. So you did sell off there. You might want to look into a deeper picture on that. I do see here there was a transcript of that earnings call. And I like, listening to the transcripts or just watching it. You can go to marketbeat.com. If you guys remember, I showed you marketbeat.com, where you can listen to the playback. And if you've ever been on an earnings call, if they ever start off with, we had great news, or, things went just as planned or something like that, you can almost tell it's going to be bad, depending on how they started out. If they start out first with the numbers, then it's really good. But if they start off with a story, nice move there, though. Yeah, my EpiPen stock. Yeah, I think it's Bats. If you remember, you had called me up and you said, hey, if you had $25,000, where would you put your money? I mentioned ADMP, and I can't remember that gas play I played. I thought about at that time. It's just missing off the top of my head. I was looking into that one, but oil doesn't look to be looking so fine right now. But I liked ADMP. Long all the way. I think that could be a double-digit stock one day. Said the float on AKG is 100 million. Yeah, that's. Let me see what you said. The float is 100 million. Even though the float is 100 million, if those sellers are gone, bro, if those sellers are gone and you got holders and buyers, that thing is going up, man. If you got holders and buyers, that thing is going up. No matter how big the float is. Yeah. What's going on, Denzel? Where's the best to look for float? Well, you can always use Yahoo, or, you know, if you're really that serious, you can go do digging in their financials, but Yahoo Finance is good too. And sometimes your broker should be able to, you know, list that as well. I know if you go to TD, they do a pretty good job of being able to show you what the float is in there. Yeah, Yahoo's pretty good. Finviz, yeah, Finviz does a good job too, being pretty close. You know, if I remember correctly, Thinkorswim, you can look at the float in Thinkorswim too, but also at tdameritrade.com. Like when you're in the platform, they do, when you're in the website, you know, if you pull up a ticker, they do have the float there. Last I remember anyway. CMO. Somebody bringing up CMO. Capstead Mortgage. Don't know anything about the company. Nice move there, covering the gap between the moving averages. This was, you know, when you see a moving average and you start spreading wider like that, that's confirmation of either if it's going up, that, you know, the bullish momentum, if it's going down, bearish momentum. And here you have covering the gap with 1 day. So it could be definitely a turn here, or it could just be a one-day thing. But, you know, the moving averages were confirming the bullish momentum over the summer. And here we could have a situation where things might be turning around. 1.5 million shares traded today. Let's take a look at it. BCRX. A lot of good plays here. I hope you guys are writing some of these down, man. We've pulled up some really good money-making plays that, you know, you can find yourself in some nice green over the course of the week or a week and a half. You know, some of these plays that I'm telling you, they're going to come out of that bottom, and you're going to find yourself sitting on, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents a share when these, you know, stocks work their way out of that. You know, some of you short sellers too. You know, we've seen a couple of charts here that are kind of overextended, and I think with some patience, you know, if you catch it, especially on that hourly, that 30-minute chart, start seeing that weakness and you time it right, it's going to look very profitable for you. Let me see here. This one, BCRX. Yeah, this is another one. Volume is pretty decent. 700,000 shares is the average. You got exactly that today. Nice 3 days in a row here. Decent candlesticks. You know, you typically don't want to see any wicks on a turnaround, but I mean it's fine. It's fine. People are buying the bottoms. Shorter wick today, so you know, people are buying those bottoms up. So hopefully you get a nice big solid candlestick tomorrow. But you'd like to see more volume coming in here, right? I love to see green bars at the bottom. That's why I love TradingView. I want to see green bars. You know, that's what you want to see. But at the end of the day, nice play though. I mean, regardless, nice play. It's working its way higher. Here's your beautiful spinning top, and you know, where it worked its way higher. Auto buy till. This is. Let me see. Auto buy. This is a pretty big company. Okay, not very liquid though. Not very liquid though. Auto buy till. Okay, I guess not very liquid. What else? AGN. Oh, definitely not cheap. Definitely not cheap. Never mind. Didn't see the price of that, but definitely recognize the name. This is one of the biggest drug manufacturers out there. Airgain, Alaska. AMC. Speaking of Chinese companies, Chinese company owns AMC, by the way. If you go to AMC Theaters is owned by a Chinese company, if you didn't know. If you didn't know, AMC is actually owned by a Chinese one. This is another heavily oversold because it's been a very, very weak summer movie season. And I think like the only real summer hit was that movie Girls Trip. Yeah, AMC Theaters is Chinese owned. A Chinese firm owns AMC. Yeah, they own AMC, which is also part of that Carmike Theaters, especially near many of the hoods is Carmike Theaters, and AMC owns those too. That AMC selling off here. Still very profitable business. I mean, it's just, are people going to the movies anymore? I mean, yes and no. I mean, people still go to the movies. I definitely don't see as many people at the movies as I did when I was like in high school or middle school. I don't, because I felt like going to the movies then, maybe it was just that point in time in life. You felt like going to the movies was almost like a rite of passage every Friday night or after the football game or on the weekends when your parents would drop you off at the movie theater. So maybe it's just my age. I'm just not seeing people at the movies there like that. Let's look at HL. Hecla Mining. Talked about this company before. $2.9 million. $5 stock. Yeah, put HL along with Freeport McMoran and all those other precious mining companies, mineral companies. Nice couple days here. Like I said, I mean, if you start seeing movement in silver, you start seeing movement in gold, we'll start talking about these plays again, like HL and FCX and what was that other one? MUX. MUX. So what is MUX doing? MUX. That's another gold play. Very similar chart. Still waiting for that breakout at that 276 level. I've been watching MUX for a long time, boy. Look at that chart. I've been dancing all over that chart. But I'm not even going to look at it below 267. Let's take a look at SING. SING, OTC stock. Still doing its thing. It's working its way higher. If we spread it out, we took a look at the weeklies as I pulled it up yesterday. That's kind of how you got to look at some of these OTCs to really see if it's changing directions. You got to spread it out, and you got to really spread it out. And as you can see here, SING on the weeklies is doing very well. Basically, all you got to do is hold and hope when we're looking at SING. That's all you can do really on this play here. IDXG. Let's go back to the daily. Looking really nice on the weekly. Let's see the daily chart. All right. He had the gap up a couple weeks ago. Today, not much. All right. Declining volume. Volume, I mean, look, it's gone back to average. Average was 7.6, but I have a feeling you're adding in these couple days here that are, fucking with the average right now. Especially this day right here. I think it's messing up. You might want to go to Yahoo Finance and figure out what it is. But yeah, I mean, you made up the gap. You made up the gap, and that's where it's holding off at. Can we let's see where are we at here. All right, I mean, you made up the gap. I don't think it's, I don't know. It's not really at a, let me see if I even move. It's not even really at a level I would say. Nah, there's nothing there. All right, I mean, just it's halfway there. It could be working its way there. Could be working its way there. It's filled it. Now it's just got to get back to it. All right. Appreciate it, closet loaders. Appreciate that, bro. All right, closetloaders.com. Use the code STOCKS. Check out my man's site. Yeah, we looked at IDXG. Again, I like how you filled the gap. I think where it's resting at is a little suspect, but DXTR. Near DXTR2. Always looking for where the potential breakouts are. Here was another situation where the stock gapped down. You know, 6 million shares traded today. What's any news? I see something that came out yesterday. A long wick today, but we'll keep watching that one. Yeah, it's kind of a boring looking chart, but it's just it's a little bit of a boring looking chart, but I don't see. I don't know. I'm not really excited about it. You know, you got a lot of volume coming in when you zoom in. You got the volume, I mean, 6 million shares, but I'm not seeing the moves. Like, I'm not seeing, you know, even when you look at the candlesticks, I mean, went up like 3 cents, 4 cents. You know, I'm not seeing, you know, the strong moves that you'd like to see like it's done here in the past. I mean, you see these are some big candlesticks where big moves. You know, lately it's 3 cents here, 4 cents here. So looking like a swing, but is it going to stay up there? I can't tell you. This is TradingView, sir. I am using the pro version. The regular version is just fine too. I mean, I've made some adjustments to the chart. You know, blackened it up and added color and all that. Until DXTR resumes the shipment of their staplers, it's going to be going sideways. Okay. So Andreas knows a little bit deeper stuff into it. News all week on DXTR. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, you got a gap to fill, so, you know, why not? You might be able to make your way up there. You know, got some gaps to fill. You know, put a guide on there and see if you can make it up there. Let's look at ORC. Orchid Island Capital, New York Stock Exchange play. Real Estate Investment Trust. Now, these really aren't very exciting to trade. Even the ETFs, you know, aren't necessarily the most volatile. But a lot of these real estate investment trusts pay solid dividends. I mean, you know, anybody in the chat room sitting on a couple million, I mean, some of these real estate investment trusts are like utilities. I mean, a solid $3, you know, $3 per stock in dividend. I mean, they pay up, man. They pay up. And for you dividend traders, again, dividend trading is for people who really got it like that. They pay good money. They pay good money. All right. Orchid Island Capital, ORC. Don't know what this company pays, but as you can see here with those D's right there, as you can see, like most real estate investment trusts, pays a dividend. Looks like this is only 14 cents. But they pay a monthly dividend. Okay, so this is a monthly dividend. 14 cents, and they pay every month. So that's why when I talk about 14 cents a share dividend, I mean at $9 a share, that's what we talked about. If you're, you know, a millionaire, multi-millionaire, you know, you buy something like this, and you know the dividends themselves could be a very nice check. You don't have too many companies that do monthly dividends, but this one obviously does. That's why dividend, you know, investing can be very, very lucrative if you're wealthy. We've talked about how, you know, investing benefits the rich by all means, you know. Okay. Going on, Town Biz. Yeah, we looked at AZFL doing really well before we wrap up the show. OTTV. This is a stock. They just got to get it together. But, this is a situation where, the company says this and that, but somebody's selling here. Somebody's selling, and it's not retail. It's somebody in the company that's selling shares here, and all that bullshit about they put out on Twitter about, hey, tell people about the company, dude. You're the one selling. Because when you look at OTTV, they got a lot of people who really like the stock. They got a pretty big fan club on some of these forums. So when you see this stock selling off, man, I think it's all inside, man. It's all inside, and I think they're pulling up smoke screens when we talk about OTTV. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. You said what you say about OTTV? My face is in this. Why? Hell yeah! I mean, they paid me $2,500 to make a video about the app, and I wasn't even a member of the damn app. So hell yeah, I took the money. I made a video. I put it out there. I'd never owned that shit, and then I posted one tweet about it. That's all. I never sent the email or anything. So hell yeah, I took it. You would do it too. Y'all better act like y'all wouldn't take that money. RIGL. Don't know much about it. Let me know. HIPH. Yeah, man. Look, when it comes to HIPH, I'm not even gonna lie. I think on this call I was a little early. I was a little bit early on this when it ran, but I was a little bit early. Some people, got involved in that split and they added on. Obviously, they did very well, but I was way early in HIPH. But I'm glad it's done very well since then. But I was definitely early. Should have definitely saw the split happen, and they took a lot off that float because that float was ridiculous. I very much admit that float was ridiculous. So I'm glad that split happened because it's definitely broke out now and finally doing something. Now, is it going to be like that other water company, that Alkaline 88 or whatever it's called? What is that? I think it's like ALK. What is that Alkaline 88 ticker? I think it's WTER, right? I think it's WTER, this one. Are we going to see it at $1? I don't know. But HIPH is it's working its way up there. Kind of hot now. As you can see, it pulled back today 12%. And I think you might have missed the run here. This is another stock that was very, very low and just kind of worked its way back up as the selling was out. RTNB, good short for tomorrow? Yes, I agree with that. Maybe. Hold on. Let me look at that chart one more time. All right. I don't know. I don't know about that, bro. If you're not careful, you can get yourself blown out here, man. Running the cover. Trust me, I've been there, I don't know about that. That RSI is still pretty low, my man. That RSI is still pretty low. RTNB. You might have a second day, my man. You might have a second day. All right, that 15-day moving average acting like a little bit of a wall there. Didn't help that the SEC came in and slowed things down. We'll see what happens tomorrow in RTNB. But I don't see a reason not to buy here. I don't see a reason for another day of green. You be very, very careful on this one, man, because you still got buying potential here. You got a lot of day traders in there. I give you that, but on technicals, you still got a lot of support for buying, for going long. He said after hours it started to dip. Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, after hours, here's the thing on after hours, man. You know, you got a lot of brokers that don't give access to after hours. So I wouldn't let the after hours or even pre-market fool you sometimes. We've seen stocks here on this show. Pre-market looks so exciting. You know, how many times have we allowed stocks like XGTI to come out pre-market, oh, up 20% pre-market, and it opens up and just shits on people? How many times have we seen that? You know, how many times have we seen, you know, stocks after hours? Oh, man, it's up. And by the time it opens, it's flat. Bad Scientist, he's saying RTNB down 37% after hours. Look, I don't doubt that it's probably down. But, again, people coming home from work, they're looking on the computer, and they're saying, what can I play tomorrow? And these are people who are not very skilled at this. You know, you got to remember, most people lose money at this. And they're going to want a piece of RTNB. And when those MOO orders come in, MOO, market on open orders. All right? Those orders that are put in tonight for RTNB, you might get squeezed. You might get squeezed. Not saying you will. You might. If you short at the gate. You know? Or you could dip buy. You might be able to get a dip buying opportunity. Who knows? Time will tell. Parker Mills. He's talking about CBMJ. Let's take a look at it. Oh, no, I'm getting something. I must have wrote it in wrong. CBMJ? What is this? Canna Consumer Goods. Man, that's an ugly looking chart, bro. A lot of gaps in that one. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that one, bro. Way too many gaps in that one. Very illiquid. Yeah, you'd be a bag holder playing something like that. Michael B. Michael B said after hours, RTNB. You know, yeah, I don't believe that price. I don't believe that price on RTNB, that wet 180 price. I don't believe it. You know, again, after hours is very illiquid. After hours is very liquid. You can put a $10 order in, it'll get filled. You know, it'll get filled. So you got to understand, it's a very illiquid market. Let's look at BTCS. All right, couple more tickers, and then we'll get up out of here for the night. BTCS. And that here's a stock that sold off. Was that yesterday? Let's look at it. I think it was yesterday, huh? Yeah. BTCS sold off yesterday. We looked at it yesterday. No, okay. Yeah, I mean, this one's hanging on for dear life. And I think Bitcoin, too, is selling off slightly again. And, you know, I just think this is just, you know, traders getting out some gains. And they're going to be replaced. And I think Bitcoin is going to be heading higher. But I think time is running out eventually for Bitcoin. But, you know, look, I've been saying that for the market, too, for the last 2.5, 3 months. You know, this market's going to keep going higher. I hope not, but it looks like it will. So either way, that's why I always, you know, got my stocks where I have, you know, a spread on there, and you just don't know. So you just got to put that spread on there, and whatever happens, happens. And, you know, sell out of the money calls and shit like that. BTCS, nice play. Yeah. I'll be looking. Parker Mills. I'll be looking. How can you tell when the company is the one selling on you? When you're starting to see, especially on OTCs, unusual size, unusually large size. and then coming in blocks that are pretty heavy, putting pressure on the stock lower. All right, that's typically somebody on the inside who's cashing out shares. All right, that's the only way. You're gonna have to read your level 2, and when you start seeing unusually large size, I mean, you know, you're looking at selling. That's not a retail guy. You know, a retail guy is not just going to be sitting on 1.5 million shares and putting it in constantly, you know, every 10 minutes, every 30 minutes or something like that. That's when you know. I see somebody putting in ZN. That's Zion Oil, right? Yeah, Zion Oil and Gas. That's one that kind of moves, does its weird things. It had an incredible run early in the summer. It has this weird. I'm starting to think that might be a pump or something. I don't know what that is. But it's not running on what oil is doing. That makes me think it's a pump. So funny that I had talked about the other day, you know, MNGA being a pump, and then it did a little run. Now it's selling off again. MNGA is definitely a pump and dump. Be careful of this one because, yeah, it does get pumped regularly, but very ugly looking chart. Did a stock split. The market didn't buy it. And crashing lower. Crashing lower. All right. WMIH. Let's take a look at. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good on that one, bro. Yeah, Michael B. I see it. I see that 187. I don't doubt that it might not sell off. I don't doubt that it could sell off. I'm saying that if you look at the chart, if you look at the chart, it doesn't mean you can't, if you want it to go long, there is justification looking at the chart for going long in it. Just going on the chart. But obviously, as I said, you got a lot of day traders in this. You got a lot of people who've made a lot of solid profit in this today. And they're going to want to take their gains. So, yes, you very well could get a red day tomorrow. But you can also get squeezed. IMGN, Immugen. Don't know too much about this one. Yeah, don't know too much about Immugen, although it had a great beginning of 2017. Look at that. Bouncing off the moving averages. You got a couple fails and gap up higher. But love that 30-day moving average, looks like. And did very well riding it higher. Now looks like it's kind of losing a little bit of steam there. But nice play there. Not too bad. But look, guys, I mean, this market is just getting back to winning again. So, we'll see. I don't know. I read a lot about that efficient market hypothesis, or what people call random walk theory. How that you can't really predict the market, that it's just it's just random. And there's a lot of data out there to support that idea. That every day is just kind of random, but I don't believe the last 6 months of action has been random. And there's going to be some recourse for that movement. And that means eventually these ETFs have to kind of, rebalance themselves, and somebody's got to go. And something's got to get sold off. So keep waiting it out. All right. But with that being said, we've come to the end of the show. Continue trading. Here's the Qs. Here's SPY. Here's SPY. Again, if my, if I start seeing some distance, again between my moving averages, then, we're going to go back long. But as of right now, I thought that crossover was going to happen. I got in a little bit early. So if we start seeing the gap again, then hell, I'm going back long. I don't try to remake the wheel. I just go with whatever I see. All right. Couple shorts. We already saw a bunch of the stocks that were up to today. That RTNB, I'm kind of pissed off because as many people are in it, there are no shares available. Ironically, there was a ton of them of ARCI from yesterday's run, but not too much of that out there. I saw Ruby Tuesday with a nice play today. Ruby Tuesday, nice volume, almost 200% volume. But other than that, HMNY, this is one that's had a lot of spikeability in the past. That put up almost 1 million shares today. Again, this one can definitely run, but hasn't done it in a while. Other than that, nothing overly impressive. Nothing overly impressive besides RTNB. All right. So we put up a lot of tickers today. A lot of great tickers, man. A lot of stocks that, again, if you have a little bit of patience, you can find yourself sitting on some nice gains. You said just remember you called Ruby for the breakout. Okay. We'll see what happens, man. It's got a lot going for it. It's a tech play, New York Stock Exchange. I like it, but, I'd like to see that volume come in. Let's get that volume a little higher. Only 500,000 shares traded. If we see 600, 700 tomorrow, a nice little solid candlestick, no wick at the bottom, oh, yeah, it's ready to go. Could be ready to go. But let's look at RTNB. I want to see how that's set up again because I think there's a lot to learn from this chart. There's a lot to learn. And again, no wicks at the bottom. A little bit one here, but that, that's the inverted hammer. Beautiful looking turnaround. And you see how that body got really skinny the day before the bulls took over. I think there's just so much to learn from that chart. Thank you, Bat Scientists, for your tickers. Could DCTH make a comeback? I don't know. I thought Bat Scientist would be in here to talk to you guys today. I guess he kind of got held over and busy. But I'm not sure on that. I think BCTH might be a dunner. All right. Yes, today was a very good day for trading. You don't always have a great, especially if you're a day trader who's looking to go long. I've always believed that unless you're really good at going long, there's just so many more opportunities to short intraday than there are to go long. But today, even if you were a fool, you could have made some money today in RTNB, as beautiful as that was today. All right. I'll be back here again tomorrow. You guys know this is what I love to do. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I enjoy this. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I can go 5 hours talking about this. All right. But I will be back instead tomorrow. And that's what it is. What's the best broker to short? Interactive Brokers, Speed Trader. And if you really ain't got no money, then Sure Trader, but I'd stay away from it. Just get your money up and go to Interactive Brokers if you can. Dry's earnings tomorrow to be very disappointing. It's selling off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. Another great episode. Another great hour and a half of enjoying us talking about stocks. Cool cats. Oh Boy Preach, Relative 9696, Batch Scientist, Thriller Ali, Chris Steele. Who else in here? Michael B. Thank you, Ken, for calling. William Sledge. Everybody and everybody who called up today, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. Cali Girl, thank you. Donzel Essex, Q-Tech, thank you. Appreciate all the ladies for watching. Shout out to all my truckers. Yes. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Trade well.